Hello and welcome to Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18, where I am joined by a stellar panel today. I have Shailendra Katyal, Managing Director of Lenovo, Deepika Ban, President, Packaged Foods at Tata Consumer Products, Rohit Bhasin, Head of Propositions, Consumer Bank and Chief Marketing Officer at Kotak Mahindra Bank, and Rohit Dadwal, who is the CEO and BOD at MMA Global APAC, are here with me for an exclusive conversation on the state of marketing excellence and its true measures. They will be sharing insights on campaigns that move the needle and ultimately make it to the Business Impact Index following their role as the jury of the Smarties Awards organized by the leading global marketing trade association, MMA. Hello and welcome to Storyboard 18. It's a pleasure to have you all with me today. And I'm going to come to you first, Shailendra, and just give me a little bit of an insight into what it was like looking at all the Smarties entries, especially when it came to, making that correlation between creativity and business impact. Tell me a little bit about how important that was and what stood out for you during the judging process.
The overall experience was quite good for me. It was the first time I was participating in the MMAs. And what stood out for me was the level of experimentation. Despite the use of Gen AI being relatively new, I saw a lot of experimentation. Now, has the experimentation scaled to a level where it can be genuine business impact? Maybe not this year, but even as a jury, we said that we should encourage the behavior of experimentation and hence recognize people who made that brave attempt of using new technology. So a lot of interesting stuff that we saw of
especially given that you operate at that intersection of technology and creativity. Sure. But Deepika, again, for you, right, we're coming from a legacy brand. Tell me about this sort of this play between the balance of tradition with innovation. How did you see some of that also being reflected in the campaigns that you have looked at during this process?
I found actually a lot of brands doing a great job of being very true to their core. Just very true to the core brand identity while they were still playing with an idea for a younger consumer cohort across a different channel. So you can see that sort of idea of a loose brand essence. Like we all grew up in a world of more, very sharply tailored brand and the brand experience being similar across touch points. But you began to see brands operate from a little bit of a essence which you could feel through different kinds of advertising. So there is an evolution happening there in my view.
And still maybe early days, like Shailendra, you mentioned, it'll take us a while to see the real impact. Rohit, let me ask you this. If you were to say, some commonalities between some of the campaigns that stood out for you in terms of, again, having that tech infusion or really sort of cutting edge work, work that is pushing the boundaries, while of course keeping an eye on all the measures that you need for marketing excellence. If you were to sort of connect the dots between the work that won for you, what would those dots be?
I think first of all, I was out of the country for about 5 years and I came back to India last year. I think what I was truly impressed with is the amount of shift that we made from just being traditional advertising to being more about really using digital as a channel, not just to build above the line, but also to actually do below the line conversion. So that, and I think the kind of work which is coming out of India is truly impressive. So I think that was my first realization, which truly excited me to see the kind of work which is happening out of India. I think the second thing for me is creativity for the sake of creativity is not good enough. For me, good creativity is when it is effective. And when you can measure the impact of the campaign on business results, that's when you really see whether that campaign is effective or not. And the entire work that we saw, you could actually see a big shift on being able to measure, campaign effectiveness on business results. And we actually rewarded those campaigns which could measurably show positive business results. And I think that was really the common thread which I saw in the work which kind of won the award.
Where does India stand in this evolutionary shift that we're seeing, where, you're tying creativity to business results even more? We've been, as a market for advertising, for creativity, we've been previously accused of not being able to find that correlation always with really, really creative content and ads. How have you seen that shift happening, and where does India stand when you look at APAC as a whole?
So,
from a Smarties perspective, if I were to step back and look at it globally, the common themes are innovation, technology, the evolution, understanding the consumer behavior. So that's pretty much the same. But where I think India definitely stands above is the whole premise of brand purpose. And I think that's something that is very evident in a lot of the case studies that we've seen. There was very compelling case studies about brand being true to the efforts of sustainability, differentiation, and some of those other activities. And the other element which I thought India kind of stands apart from some of the other work is the innovation and experimentation at a larger scale. And I think the country enables that, unlike Vietnam or Indonesia, because the population sizes are different, to do it at scale and then experiment that and to be able to drive business impact or results from there. So that is something which was truly commendable.
You know, you've started a whole new dialogue within this dialogue. Let's talk about, let's pick on the buzzword, let's pick on purpose. Shailendra, of course, purpose has been the defining trend of the past decade or more. But there's also been a lot of criticism when it comes to companies, businesses, you know, the way they leverage their purpose, defining purpose. There's been a lot of backlash against some very large companies, you know. I mean, do brands have to have a point of view, say, on war or politics?
Yes.
So purpose is very, you know, controversial at this point in time. As a business head, tell me a little bit about how you think about, you know, that purpose.